Alright guys, what is going on? Today is a pretty exciting day. We got lots of car parts that came in the mail, all my parts by Max Parts. I've already had my Villains parts. That's Lena texted me, as always. But yeah, we got a super exciting day. I'm still waiting for the parts from ResuMotorSports, the ISR rear control arms for all the ISR rear control arms for the 240 suspension in the rear, the traction, tow, and camber. Jeez, Melina. Anyways, I'm always watching small channels and I like to help out small channels. So I just wanted to let you guys know in the description of this video that I am helping out a channel that I found. It's Ed's JDM Vlogs. It's going to be in the description. Go subscribe to it, check him out, give him some pointers of, what he can make better. I'm all about helping out small channels because we were a small channel at one point. So after this video is over, definitely go check out his channel. But let's get into the exciting part and let's open up these new boxes. Just like Christmas. Oh. I already cut it open, but I haven't seen the parts because they're in separate boxes. Jesus, is heavy. Oh boy. Got your knuckle. And then I also got offset rack spacers, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Alright, so we got the PBM power brace with the bar that goes between the middle. We have our knuckles from PBM. We have our offset rack spacers by PBM. Inner and outer tie rods from Villains. Those dudes are seriously the chillest dudes ever. If you ever need lower control arms, a cheap angle kit, anything, go to villains.com or whatever it is. Just look it up. You'll find their drift team. They're huge. But yeah, so 40mm extended lower control arms, inner and outer tie rods, offset rack spacers, knuckles, power brace, and we're still waiting for my ISR, all the rear control arms to come in for the rear of the 240. But today we got something else going on. We're not installing these parts. Let's talk about it. Alright, so the plan that we're actually doing today, what you might have seen in the title, I don't know if I actually titled it that because obviously I haven't made the video yet. We're modifying my subframe. I ordered offset rack spacers, okay, I did. I was going to run them, and then I was going to eventually get it modified. But I talked to Villains on the phone today. Nate, huge shout out to him once again. Like, seriously, they're so chill, and he really helped me out with everything. Wheel specs, angle mods, just everything. Like, he answered every question I could ask. So, for you, Nate, I'm doing this video, and I'm attempting to modify my steering rack. And I was scared, too, because I didn't want to mess anything up. But I'm just showing you guys, I don't know how to do this. You might not either. We can do it, Having a car and a drift car is all about learning, and one of the coolest things to do is actually modify your car yourself, not bolt on a new part. So let's just get to it. Let me show you what the plan of attack is. So the plan of attack, obviously drop the subframe, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut it, because we want to modify it about 1 inch forward. We're going to cut it right before these welds straight off, get this part completely separate, and then like trim this out and move it forward and just re-weld it. I might have to repaint it. I'm trying to avoid repainting the whole thing because this turned out really good. But if I have to, I will. So let's get it out of the car and get it over here on the ground and start mocking it up. So as you can see, what I did was I cut this out so these are always going to be the right width from each other and all that. So now what we have is we have this extra weld stuff right here that needs to be grinded down. We're going to use the soft pad. We're going to make this perfectly flat just like this, and we're going to leave this section completely alone. We might cut these corners off or something because they're not necessary now. And then you can see that this was welded over top of this on this section. So when we grind this down, we're going to put this back on top of here and weld it back to it. How we're going to go about doing that is cut the bottom off the same. We're going to cut this down and then cut this across so these can sit on top of the subframe. I saw a picture online and that's what it looked like he did. I saw some people cut these individually out and then just move these forward and leave this alone, but I really feel like it's so important to leave these holes perfectly OEM where they were meant to be. So that's the plan. Alright, so it's pretty much complete, and as you can see, that's how it goes. And as you can see, it's about, it's been moved forward. It used to be right there, so it's been moved forward almost that much of a gap. Because there's a little gap still left over, because see how it sits on top now? So you push it all the way up against, there's about that much of a gap. I think I'm not going to be able to weld it, and if I don't know if it'll structurally really matter, because this will be welded all the way around there. And I feel like, I know the steering rack, you know, has quite a bit of force on it from the wheels, but I really think that'll be okay. Weld it here, and of course all along the bottom. And if not, I'll just take some of my metal and fill in the gap and weld it on both sides. So let's get this started welding this. Let's weld here, down here, and on the sides and underneath. And let's see how it looks. Like, this is just awesome because earlier, like, literally, guys, I bought, they're in here, rack to inner tie rod offset spacer for early 14s and S15s. Like, I literally bought offset rack spacers. I was so scared to do this, but like I said, Nate from Villains talked me into doing this today, and I got home from work and I just got on it. So this just proves, you know, don't be scared to do things. You know, you'll mess up sometimes, but when you get it right, like, I feel so good right now. But anyways, let's just get started and let's finish this thing. Alright guys, so I'm all finished up. It's completely welded. I actually welded the part with the gap on the top and the bottom and filled it in. I didn't like blow through it or anything. Like, this is the best. I am so accomplished. Like, I didn't, earlier today, like I said, I bought the offset rack spacers. They're sitting right there and now I don't have to use them. It just proves, you know, sometimes you're gonna be scared to do things, but just try it, you may do it. Now let me show you because I'm so happy about this. So there it is, completely modded. As you can see, you got the top weld across, and then you also have these back welds that I actually did pretty good. There is some BBs. I didn't grind the welds down, but I did grind the BBs down just because I didn't want that all over. I don't care that the welds aren't, you know, they're not super clean. They were done with a $105 welder from Harbor Freight that I got 3 years ago. So I feel pretty good. And then I also welded underneath there and across there. That weld, oh, you guys can't see it because it's that way. That weld actually turned out not too bad, not too shabby. Alright, so I'm painting the control arms now. The camera battery died, so I had to sand them down and everything off camera while I was charging. Painted underneath already. Now I just did my last coat of the top on the black. And then for the subframe, I started on the bottom first because it's the least important. And I'm doing really, really heavy coats on that just to make sure, you know, nothing comes off. And I'm kind of drenching it in there where the welds penetrated through the metal. Not really worried about the bottom at all. The top, I really did take my time and try to sand pretty decently. So we're gonna go ahead and paint that after the bottom dries and then clear the whole thing. But real quick, we do have to run up to the store. I'm out of sparkles and I'm gonna be doing the subframe sparkles again, and I'm gonna do the lower control arms with the sparkles. I was just gonna leave them black, but I feel like with the gold and everything, it'll really, really look good. All right, so we are back from the store. Got our spray paint. Let's get it out. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, almost. Oh. Alright, so we got our sparkle Rust-Oleum. People always ask me what this is. It's just Rust-Oleum glitter spray paint. So I think, let me see. I think the control arms, yeah, the control arms are definitely ready to lay down a coat of glitter. So let's do that. And then I gotta flip the subframe over and now paint the, it should be dry, right? Oh yeah. So we gotta flip this over nicely, and now we got to paint the top of the subframe. Alright guys, so before it gets too dark out, I figured I would show you the control arms. They turned out pretty good. I'm still going to do another coat of clear, but I wanted to show you before the sun went down completely. And then we have the subframe over here. Yeah, the subframe doesn't have a coat of clear yet, but it turned out actually better than it was before. I took my time and sanded it a little more. So yeah guys, I think we are going to end it there. I know it was a short video. I just had to do a DIY on the subframe modification because I myself was scared to do it and didn't want to take the risk of, you know, breaking at the track. But honestly, I didn't weld super pretty welds and they're super strong. You know, you don't need to weld the most perfect welds in the world to have a strong weld. I mean, just if you want to learn how to weld, you guys are watching Learn How to Mod a Subframe. I'm sure there's someone out there that's professionally making how to weld videos. So just look it up if you want to learn how to weld, you know. Turn down, create down, paint and everything. Now I'm going to finish up. I'm going to box all the parts back up and leave them in the garage overnight. And we'll be back again tomorrow or the next day to do all the parts that I have and install them on the 240SX. And then as soon as I get the rest of the parts that are on back order and the hubs, we'll be able to put the car on the ground. And I also haven't told you guys that I got a wheel sponsor, because you guys know I love 3-piece wheels. So that's going to be coming really soon. I got to get those built. And I think right around when I get the wheels built, because it takes 4 weeks to get them built, it'll be like time to buy the engine, because the chassis will be done and it'll be on the ground with fresh ass wheels. So alright guys, we will catch you next time, but do not forget to go in that description and check out Ed's JDM vlogs. Super sick channel, honestly. You know, I'm just helping out. If any of you guys have channels you want me to check them out, just leave them in the description, or in the description. Just leave them in the comments. I will go check them out, and if I like them, might feature you on the channel. Message me, whatever you got to do to get a hold of me. We will catch you next time, guys. Peace.